other one.
But I can't mute it yet.
Yes, when it comes up, you can mute it. Anyway.
You can talk now.
Hello. Welcome.
I assume so.
Welcome to the camouflaged training. You know the drill. It's questions and answers about aspects of health science, human nutrition, etc. You put a large Q and then a colon, write your question out, and then suffix that with a question mark. Okay? That way it's very easy for Ted to find the questions to bring up on the screen, even though it's not so easy for us to find Ted, is it? Queen of Pirates.
I think he's a little bit stupid. He
Really?
was found last week.
He was found out, was he?
And now he's trying the same trick again.
Do you think it'll work for him? Okay.
I do not.
Right, so who's in the house? Who's up who? Who was first in the house?
Well, it was non-republic rat.
Very good.
Or is it non-republic rat?
Could be. Non-republic rat. or a non-republic rat.
That's what I said first.
Yes, I know. Good.
And Babs was second. Just
Bloody hell.
waiting.
Yeah. Linford? Where was Linford? Fourth?
Yep.
Goodness gracious, Linford. Lieutenant General Linford.
Rick was third.
Good on you, Rick.
Need to ask things while eating steak and such. So. Oh my goodness. Last time I watched a Pim and Bart live was 2019. How time flies.
To me, it doesn't seem that long.
That was 5 years ago. We didn't even live here then. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but I still remember Jimmy, and like I wouldn't blink because I haven't seen Jimmy for a while. There you go. Hello, Jimmy. Goodness gracious.
Yes. Okay. So questions. Or are we gonna fuck off again?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have any fun things to share?
Yes.
I'm looking at all the good mornings. Hello, you happy people. Hi, and such.
Yes, absolutely. If you look in the show notes underneath this fine presentation, you will find the address for Pim's fine YouTube channel, which if you're not subscribed to, you should go and subscribe to after this directly. It's good. It's fine. And it's also fine. Yes, it's about food freedom and stuff.
Very good. Excellent.
You can tell that from the handle of the channel. For those of you that have been subscribed to Pim for a while, it's the same channel. She's just changed the name of it, and you're still subscribed.
And it's still Pim Johnson?
Yes, not Pam Johnson.
I'm not sure. It hasn't worked.
What hasn't?
Is he talking? Yeah, I don't know. I've been reading the chat, so
yeah.
I assume you spoke about my channel because I only picked up the last because I was trying to figure out what he meant.
What hasn't worked?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay, tell us what hasn't worked.
Maybe you would know.
Yeah.
I was first, but YouTube wiped it.
Oh, the same thing again. Bloody hell. Yes, bloody YouTube.
Ribeye Rule says, loving Ted on Twitter. They're as jagged toad brain dead secret fault.
Oh my God. I mean, I keep telling Ted he should probably tone it down a bit in terms of some of his things he's doing over there. But he's his own bear. Burr. He's his own man.
He's his own boo.
Burr. Bear. Bah. No, he's not a sheep. He's his own entity, and he won't be told anything by me, and so he's probably going to continue to call people all sorts of things over there who generally don't understand basic physics, logic, or science. Oh, 2 Teds.
Fucking hell.
I hope they do. There goes monetization. How many minutes in are we?
Could anyone stand a universe with more than one teeth?
I could.
Okay.
I could be all surrounded by an army of Teds.
Jesus.
Doing my bidding. Perhaps.
And they all have one eye.
Yes. But between them collectively, they have many eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a beehive mind.
Yes.
This is getting dangerous.
You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. Yes, good. Questions. QQQ.
Finishing up some antibiotics and clearly feeling the gut biome being nuked, but stayed carnivore. Anything else you would recommend after to help get things back on track?
Yes. Peptide BPC157 can be very useful. I have found in such regards with various people who I've suggested it to, who said, yes, that was the trick. It's a experimental, not for human use, only for research purposes, peptides, which is so very dangerous that you can buy it from Amazon for about $100 a bottle of 500 microgram tablets. So you take it orally in 1, 2, or 3 of those a day for no more than a month, and it seems to have miraculous synergy with healing properties in the gut, etc. I would also probably up your cereal product intake, or if your cereal product intake is currently 0, I'd still up it. So there you go. More than 0 cereal intake is what I would also suggest.
But none of that will help you with your gut microbiome.
No, but it does help calm down the inflammation, calm down the systemic situation, blah, 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 and the eating of meat ongoingly and associated fat, of course, will help to reseed the microbiome, because basically, I laugh when people talk about, oh, what do you think about those foods that are supposed to be probiotic and prebiotic? And I'm like, well, that's all foods. Everything you eat comes with bacteria, and that's what will end up in your gut. It comes with the food. You don't have to do anything else. So I wouldn't do that. Do you have similar thoughts, different thoughts, additional thoughts at all?
No, not really. I think it's a difficult issue.
That's very good New Zealand accent. Sorry, accent.
I mean, isn't that a problem that everyone is struggling with after having antibiotics? Is the diversity of the microbiome, and I don't think anyone really has the answers. Even though people try all sorts of things like eating fermented foods and, taking probiotics, prebiotics, fucking, what's it called? Fecal transplants.
Yes.
That might work.
Who's up for one of those? A fecal transplant. By the way, anyone that does think they may spot Ted during this camouflage training session, do sing out. Let us know. And it'll be just like...
It's too late.
It is visible.
Too late.
Ted, you failed again, son.
He's just faking it. So you're someone's comedian professor.
Excellent. Good. I'm one of those things, according to some.
Which?
Well,
comedian or professor?
Well, it depends on who you're listening to as to which one of those they think I am. Nobody could possibly imagine I could be both.
Good.
Good.
Or bad. 100 grams of raw liver once a week.
I wouldn't, personally.
Why not?
You do. I wouldn't do it because probably it seems to me to be something that's completely unnecessary, and there is a risk of copper toxicity from a lot of liver. I realize that 100
grams
I was just going to say that. I realize that 100 grams isn't a huge amount. Nonetheless, the required intake of liver for good health ongoingly seems to be none at all. So that's how much I take. Also, liver is yucky. Prove me wrong.
Maybe he does not think that liver is yucky, though.
Maybe he doesn't.
Yes.
You do you, Francisco, on that regard.
Yes. I would say it depends on why you want to do it.
Yes.
If it has a purpose. I have met a few people who have, women that have struggled with their iron levels and not been able to get them up on carnivore, being able to do that with liver. So, in that case, I would do it.
Right.
Raw?
What's a woman?
I don't fucking know.
Neither does anybody else, apparently.
I don't know.
Here's one for you, boys and girls. If your choices are binary or non-binary, that once again imposes your binary status. Sorry about that. I'm here to help. What's next?
What do you think of nattokinase?
Yeah, it seems to be an interesting and exciting area of ongoing research at the moment in terms of effects with regard to the regression of cardiovascular disease process, thromboses, those kind of things. It's an enzyme I've known about for a number of years, and I myself have been taking some of it over a number of years in the predecessor to this fine product, actually. This one has a new suite of enzymes that do the thing, the cereal product, but the old version had some nattokinase in it, so I can speak to its both how well it works. It's Sunday morning.
Efficacy?
Forgive me. Yes, efficacy. Thank you. And but also there can be issues. It can cause quite acute, quite disturbing, quite worrying levels of pain. I found nothing that's actually a medical problem, but although you'd think it was, because like, oh, this level of pain is not natural. I better go to the emergency room or something. No, it feels like that, but it's actually no problem. Nonetheless, I found the new product from the Cerule fine folks there. When I say new, this one's 7 or 8 years now, whatever it is. Much better. Doesn't do that. But yes, nattokinase, good stuff. Get into it. And I would probably steer people towards Cerule for good places to get all their adult stem cell promoting anti-inflammatory, and this one's actually a blood flow optimizer, dissolves fibrin, but may well also have effect on atherosclerosis. Or you can take nattokinase if you like, and it doesn't cause you a problem. But I won't get paid a commission if you do that, in which case I'll be sad, and so will Ted.
Does anyone give a shit about Ted, though?
Well, Ted does.
Other than Ted?
Well, I do. He's been my constant companion for over 52 years.
And still he has only one eye.
Well, that's my fault, yes. Yeah. That happened when I was teething. No wonder Ted is so disturbed, frankly. Imagine going through that at such a young age.
Having your eye gnawed out by some fucking lunatic toddler. Right.
My mum wanted to sew it back on, I'm told, and my father told her not to because he better learn if he's going to wreck shit. That's how it's going to be. And now
As if you gave a shit.
And now his eye is lost to the midst of time. Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is my name. Did he say Pan or Pamb?
Pim. P.
Well, you can read it down there.
M. Pim. P-I-M.
Pum. In New Zealand.
In New Zealand, we'd pronounce it pum, but it's P-I-M. Pim. Not Pam. Not Pan. Not Pamb.
Or Pimson.
Johnson Pimson? No, it's Babs knows better than that. Kim is Babs. Thompson Jimson.
Looky, don't forget to drop a like on this gorgeous show.
Yeah.
Do it.
Speaking of gorgeous, hello, darling. You bronze Brazilian god you. Yes, god you. How's things going? Who's up who? Who's next?
We have questions.
Questions, good.
Right. Ashton Hogwash.
Like it.
Like it.
Yes.
I've watched your entire catalogue of videos and wondering what other sources of carnivores I can trust. So far, I believe Frank Tufano, Saladino, and Sverige may be somewhat trustable.
Oh dear. No.
Do we have a troll here?
He must be. That's 0 from 3 there, unfortunately. Frank Tufano is a failed actor, a failed gay porn star. I don't know how you fail at gay porn, but apparently he did. And is not actually a source of information because he has no training or experience in the field of any kind whatsoever. He was making videos for entertainment purposes purely. I wouldn't trust Frank Tuffanus. We call him Frank Tuffanus. Wouldn't trust him as far as you could throw him. Saladino, same deal in terms of trustworthiness. The boy is an absolute steaming imbecile.
Steaming one?
An absolute steaming imbecile. The boy is as stupid as fuck, basically. Saladino, not worth the time of day. I wouldn't listen to a word that idiot has to say on anything whatsoever. I mean, this is a boy who's telling you a good idea is to pour 600 and 700 grams of carbohydrates down your stupid neck every day of your life. No, Paul, it isn't. And, Sverige can't even spell Sverige without a 3.
That must be the worst.
I think he is the worst. He doesn't know anything about anything. He just says words like
and
nutrients.
He's not even Swedish. That's insulting.
Nutrients. Salt is rock. Look at sun. Earth is flat and stuff. So no, 0 out of 3. I would trust Dr. Anthony Chaffee, probably above anybody else nearly in the industry. You have to give a very honourable shout out, and it's a close call with Dr. Ken Berry in that respect and regard as well. But I would put Sean Baker in behind those guys in terms of, how much weight I would put on things that they have to say. Starts looking thin after that. Dr. Sarah Pugh, absolutely, I'd listen to in regards to what she's talking about with the quantum stuff. Very fascinating stuff. And I would listen to Sarah Pugh about quantum stuff ahead of Jack Kruse for most people. And I'll tell you why that is. Nothing against Jack, except you won't understand a word Jack has to say. Promise you. But you might understand Sarah Pugh if you listen enough times to what she has to say. And I'm not talking about Jack behind his back here. I've said this to his face. Jack, you need to simplify your message so people can get it, what you're saying. He doesn't want to. So that's that. Who else do you think is great?
I don't know. I don't watch social media.
No time. She's too busy. So am I, really, too busy to watch much of what others are doing. I'm sure there are others that are absolutely worth the weight in gold to listen to that we haven't listed today. But of those 3 offerings, no, not one of them. Good. What's next? Thanks for the question.
Views on drinking animal blood. Not that I ever would.
You can if you like. There's no problem in so doing for most people. But the benefits of it, over and above just eating meat, well, can you think of any? Can you get anything from drinking blood that you can't get from eating meat?
Well, if you want a lot of electrolytes, that's the way to go, I suppose.
Okay. Here's one.
Yeah, it would be a good one, I
Okay.
suppose.
Yep.
I suppose.
Very good. That's why I have her around. It's not just because of the looks.
With my hat, and I look super sexy.
You look very cute today. What's this bullshit?
Well, it was cold.
It is cold. It's starting to actually drop like a stone here, the temperature. We're going to have winter any time. There are almost no leaves left to drop. Well,
Finally.
but it seems to have progressed very rapidly this year. We had a very longish summer, although it didn't feel like it. And it was very, very dry. We've had drought conditions for most of it. So things are all a bit out of whack, and it all feels a bit strange.
Very nice. Right.
Yes.
So next question.
Yep.
What do you think about eating a lot of cured pork bacon, more than 50% of the diet? Is it more fatty and available than beef where I live, and I really like it? I can get it organic.
Depends on how it's been cured as to how much of it I think it might be a good idea to eat or not. There are some curing methods which are probably not too problematic, and there are some which really could be. Any meat-based diet, though, is still going to be preferable to any plant-based diet or any mixed macro diet. So the quality of that diet depends on the curing method, I think. Additional comments?
I don't know. Depends on how you feel, I suppose. I do know a lot of people that say that they don't feel great eating a lot of pork. Why? Maybe it's the fat composition. Maybe it's just that they do better with, other meat because of what they've been fed or whatever. I mean, just because it's organic, I don't know what the pigs actually have been fed. Pigs eat pretty much anything. So,
Frank Tifanus likes a bit of pork sausage in his mouth.
Good for you.
And elsewhere.
I mean, I think we need to kick this Babs. Where's Jan Pimpson?
Yeah, yes.
Being rude and stuff. Lukey.
Yes.
The non-liker of obliterated beast approaches. It like to escape Tid's eternal torture.
Yes. Studies show that failure to like my live streams results in early death. The mechanism is a visit from Ted late at night with his small guillotine.
Right. Good. Next.
Yes.
What is the reason you stopped making videos on the topic of FE, and climate stuff?
Largely because...
Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
Not you.
No?
I think that dog has farted.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Jesus.
suddenly too loud for you again.
Fuck.
Right. The answer... Oh, Jesus Christ, Schnauzer! There has been an emergency here.
I did that last night.
Talk amongst yourselves from a moment. Christ on the mic. Hang on a minute.
Thank you.
Whew. We should open and close the door rapidly. Quick succession.
Fuck. And she's just like, what's going on here?
Oh, God, never work with children or animals. Right, the reasons are, number one, I only have so much energy doing one topic, and doing it any kind of justice on a YouTube channel is tough. It's hard to do. It takes many, many hours. And the actual immediate remuneration via advertising revenue from YouTube for our efforts as YouTube creators is absolutely abysmal, pathetic. For those of you who don't understand that, you would be lucky, one would be lucky to get $1,000 US per million views on a video. So, you know, having another channel that is not producing anything that would create income is not worth my professional time at this point. Secondly, the powers that be that own and run the YouTube platform, i.e. Google, are not happy with anyone who espouses narrative that is not accepted by them on any topic, and some topics they're particularly hot on, one of which is climate stuff and FTFE stuff. Finally, to finish off the question, if your reference is to the particular individual who calls himself FTFE, he's a moron, an imbecile, a fuckknuckle of the highest order, a Dunning-Kruger sufferer, and an arrogant little fuck splat.
A fuck knuckle?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Like it.
He needs to pull his fucking head in, basically. This is a boy who thinks he knows everything about everything, and he actually knows exactly dick about exactly fuck, it seems. And his little mate over there, his little, calls himself PhD Tony, who basically I showed up in a discussion on FTFE's channel a few years back. I showed him up to be the emotive, childish imbecile that he actually is. It didn't go down well. There was a bit of a dumpster fire on that one. It was good fun, for me anyway. But they got very, very upset about the whole thing. So they did.
We have an emergency here in the chat.
Do we?
This doesn't show that we have a super chat. So I have been ignoring it.
All right.
It usually comes up there and it doesn't.
Oh, it comes up over on the right-hand, very far right-hand screen, I think, maybe.
Where?
If it was maximized, it would. I don't know. Anyway, you found it.
Still not.
Okay, well,
Because you
wrong
popped
then.
out the chat.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we have a super chat.
We do.
Thank you, Flame of the Spirit. Is jogging bad for the average Joe to do recreationally?
I don't think jogging is a bad thing for half an hour at a time, 3 times a week maximum, at a speed of movement across the ground that you could not carry on any longer than 30 minutes. I do not think light recreational jogging, zone 2 training, or speak easy training, or recovery runs are a good idea at all, and I don't think you should do those. That's a different discussion there. All your running should be at the fastest possible pace you can maintain for the endurance time required. And I think that should never exceed half an hour for the average Joe. To answer your question specifically. Specifically. Yes. Haven't seen Rich this morning.
On your last live Q&A, you stated that you are not 100% carnivore and you don't want to be. Why is that? What are some of the foods you eat that are not carnivore?
Well, coffee would be one. Occasionally we have sweet potatoes and or potatoes in various formats. Alcoholic beverages tend to go in a bit.
Would you not want to live without them, though? I think that's more the
Oh,
question.
I don't think it is. I mean, it says, why don't you want to be? Well,
Yeah.
I would probably ideally want to be the sort of person who has this kind of self-discipline to adhere to such a program consistently and persistently, ongoingly. I'm hardwired as a hedonist a bit, though, so to my way of thinking, keeping these things under control, or at least limited, is a win, because if I just behaved the way I wanted to according to my impulses, Jesus, I'd have been dead years ago if I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm taking all of this as a win.
Do you believe in neuroplasticity?
Yeah, sure,
So
but that takes effort and,
Yes.
discipline and all of those things that the hedonist is kind of like, oh, really? Or should we just have another beer? Look, I profess to, and I state that the ideal and what any given person should aspire to is 100%, and I will never back off that. That is the correct statement to make. What I personally do in my own life is what I personally do in my own life, and what you do is what you do. Make sense?
You just present the science.
That's it. I am the science. Trust me. Don't question the science. You don't question me, or Ted, by the way. Ted doesn't like being questioned either. Well, you can, so long as it's respectful, but people don't know how to do that these days, do they?
These days,
Mm.
in what days did they know how to do that
Oh,
respectfully?
back in the day, and even when you were challenging someone to a duel to the death, that was very polite.
With a handkerchief.
Yes, yes. I challenge you, sir.
Is that
at dawn.
being respectful, though?
Yes. I quite like the old ways. I was around.
It was always better when I was a kid.
That's right.
That's a sign of being
when Adam was in short pants, or before.
Adam?
The original Adam.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Partner of Eve.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So when he was in short pants.
When did he have short pants?
When he was a boy.
I see. Good. You
Yep.
have this recorded somewhere, or how do you know?
Well, there weren't technologies for recording such things.
You just know.
Well,
because you are the science.
I am the science. Don't question the science.
All right, next question then.
Yes, good.
Someone wrote this comment somewhere. Can you debunk it, please?
Right.
If you don't eat soluble fiber or some sort of bile binder, toxins in the bile just get reabsorbed via hepatic circulation.
Okay, the thing is, immediately when people are presented with such definitive statements, they immediately imagine that they have to prove it wrong. No, the person offering you that statement has to prove it right. Good luck. There you go.
Very good.
The person making the claim is responsible for supporting it. That's it. Done.
Can eating bone marrow increase our stem cells?
No, not directly. Because when you consume something like that, your body sees that as protein that you've consumed, that it breaks down to its constituents for reassembly according to the machinations of the body that's consumed that protein. You're not actually eating stem cells that then get added to your collection, because they're not your stem cells. It's not even the same species.
How do lions gain fat? Is it dictated by hormones, mass in, mass out, or the Randall cycle? Humans used to typically fatten up for the winter with carbs, so how can some people do priming and lose fat?
Okay, how many fat lions have you ever seen? How many fat lions have you ever seen, other than, in the wild, I mean?
Yeah, I was just going to say probably at the zoo.
At the zoo, you'll see a fat lion because they'll be fed inappropriately. In which case, the things that cause that will be hormones, mass in, mass out, and the Randall cycle, probably.
And I think the hormones are probably also driven by the lack of fucking exercise in a zoo. They don't get to hunt their food.
Yes, they don't have to chase it down and with their sharp, pointy teeth like this.
HIIT training intermittently.
Yes.
Not every fucking day.
Good. In the wild, you're not going to see a fat lion. You're going to see a lion that's healthy and of good body weight, strength, voracity, and whatever, or one that's very skinny that's about to be no longer a lion. Pretty much there. Your options. Binary, see?
Luke is here to correct people. Please add a Q at the beginning of questions.
Yes,
Thank
please
you, Luke.
do, so that we can see them easily.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're sitting here going, "There's no questions."
What is your educational background in the topics of physics, Bart Tholomew?
Quite a bit of self-taught stuff. I could certainly have a reasonable and sensible discussion about physics with a person who may or may not believe themselves to be competent and such. It's not one of my specialisms from my former academic career. I never taught quantum physics anyway. I certainly taught aspects of classical Newtonian physics by way of teaching biomechanics for many years as well. But quantum stuff was not something I taught. It's something I taught myself. Yeah, that's my level. Try me.
He's absorbing it while he's sleeping. It's fascinating.
You're here to help, aren't you?
Aren't you?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. At the moment, I'm listening to Michael E. Weiss Sessions' book about the science behind energy and stuff, which has been quite interesting.
You sleep listening to it.
Yes, and some of it sticks.
Which is fascinating.
Anyway, you want to talk to me about physics? Try me. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Right.
Yes.
Any insight as to why my HbA1c result is so much higher than my CGM? My CGM reads very close to my fingerstick glucose monitor. CGM reads average 97 and A1c is 6.1.
If you are eating a fully carnivorous diet and have been for some time, it is likely that your red blood cells live a longer lifespan than blood cells of a person eating a mixed diet. In which case, the A1C value will artificially drift up because the A1C value assumes the lifespan of the red blood cell, and if that assumption is incorrect, then the metric is of no value to you. That's a shame, isn't it? Basically, most medical science will assume that you are from a standard population, that you are average in every respect, and that you consume the kind of diet that most people do, which are assumptions which are fundamentally false for most of us here in this community.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Good.
6 point something would equate to over 100 and...
It's 128 or something like
yes.
that.
Yeah,
I was just wondering how much higher it was.
I saw that you were trying to look that up just now.
I did it.
Yes. Well, that's what it is. 128, is it? Good.
Yeah, at least according to that chart.
Good. We know you guys over there use freedom units. Over here, it's a bit more totalitarian still, even with the new government in some respects. But that's the other thing you can't talk about here on the YouTubes is politics.
I think this is a question.
Yes, questions.
Do you think our ancestors ate a decent amount of glycogen, given a study of Inuit eating fresh fish showing up to 20% of the nutrient intake was glycogen, and hunters eating raw liver immediately?
I think that our ancestors ate as much glycogen as could be found in the meat of the animals that we were eating. Different animals have different levels of glycogen. I would strongly suggest that 20% of their nutrient intake in the form of glycogen would be an overstatement.
That
Probably.
sounds like a lot.
It sounds like far too much to me inherently. However, I am not an expert in the physiology of Arctic animalia. Are you?
No. Okay, I don't know anything about fish. But, like, let's say a human being,
yes,
a 70-kilo person or whatever, 150, 45, whatever pounds.
Yes.
Could store maybe 450 grams of carbs in their whole body. That is not 20%.
No, it isn't. If you eat the whole, even the available edible mushroom.
Even if they were like stored up maximally, they've been, you know, when the fish are carb loading on all of that.
Yes. Yes. Excuse me. Yes.
It just sounds like a lot.
It does sound very high.
So I would have to do some calculations.
Yes.
Vegans blame the small amount of trans fats that are naturally occurring on animal foods. I don't think this is an issue. Any thoughts? P.S. I will use your advice when I debate them. Thanks.
Vegans blame the small amount of trans fats for what? And if they want to blame anything for anything, that's a claim for which they will need to provide you with some evidence, which unfortunately does not exist. Ergo, their argument will fail.
Isn't CLA like super fucking healthy and it's a trans fat? Or am I wrong?
Again, with the term super healthy.
Yeah, well.
With or without the fucking.
There have been done many studies on it, and
many studies.
Benefits and all
see,
of
the
that.
thing is, if you have a bag of shit, then what you have is some shit. If you have 20 or 30 bags of shit, then you've just got a bigger pile of shit, haven't you? It doesn't mean that actually the information from 20 or 30 really bad studies is good. And that's what we've got in human health. There are no studies that can inform us on hard health outcomes, health-wise, that is, in human beings over any period of time as regards any aspect of the diet or nutrition in any way, shape, or form. Thus, science, in that regard, is absent. It does not exist. It does not exist. Yeah, so if people want to tell you this causes that, well, then you say, great, show me the controlled experimental interventional study on human beings that establishes that fact, which they will not be able to do because you can't do such studies.
Very good.
There you go. We have a whole, not a bunch of science.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lack of science.
How do you post a paid question?
You go to the button at the bottom right of your chat window, just beside the smiley face icon at the end of the typing things in window, and it looks like a dollar bill. Click that. And then usually what has to happen is you put all your information in and your credit card in and the comment you want to make in, and then you have to refresh your browser a number of times before it will go through because, well, you know why.
Because problems.
There's problems. Stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Wow.
Wow.
Ah. What do you think about vitamin C flushes for fatty liver disease?
I wouldn't do it, no. Not at all. Goodness.
What do you think about subscribing to my channel?
Yes, what do you think about subscribing to Pim's Fine channel? The link for which is directly under this video in the show notes. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
You made it easy. Go and click it.
That's it. Go and click that and go and subscribe to Pim's channel if you're not already.
Give me some thumbs ups and all of that.
Comments. Flick it off to your social media accounts. Isn't this great? And stuff. And watch all the shorts.
Yes.
What's next?
There was something here. There is lots of questions marks or cues. In your opinion, will stem cell support help with autoimmune disease, specifically rheumatoid arthritis?
We have seen so many examples of people whose issues, be they rheumatoid arthritis or other immune deficiency or overimmune function dysfunctions, I should say. Basically, any condition in the world you could think of, pretty much, we have seen many examples of people who have taken cereal products for a period of time, a sufficient period of time at a sufficient intake level, that is, and those things seem to dissolve. Coincident with that. We're not claiming cause and effect because we're not allowed to. However, the coincidence is quite stunning in terms of people who turn around roughly about 6 months after starting taking cereal products and go, geez, seems to have been sorted.
So how do you think that works?
Well, the proposed mechanism is in directly two things, or three things, because we have three main products. Here they are. This one releases stem cells from your bone marrow to your bloodstream, your stem cells with your DNA in them. They can turn into any cell in your body that your body might need, except sperm or eggs, whatever. So any cell in your body that's dysfunctional, broken down, not working properly, needs replacing, the stem cells can do that. And they do that. And we have the evidence that shows that happening.
How does it work on the immune system?
Well, the immune system is made up of many components, including various cells.
Yes.
Which stem cells released to your bloodstream can become, should your body need those, for example. Also, adult stem cells, before they differentiate into adult cell lines, before that, when they're floating around as stem cells, they exude exosomes, tens of thousands every hour, with anti-inflammatory chemical messages, first aid kits for other cells, calm this down, calm that down. and also anti-cancer properties a bit in terms of giving instructions to cancer cells to explode themselves and be no more. So that's kind of the stuff behind how that probably occurs, although we're not saying it does.
Could they maybe help preventing leaky gut?
Absolutely, in regard to encouraging the replacement of faulty gut lining with a brand new one, which won't be faulty because it won't have been destroyed in the same way if you change your habits a bit. But anything that you continue to mess up will continue to be messed up to some degree. It's always the balance of breakdown versus repair. So that's the main product. Then we have an anti-inflammatory, and then we have a blood flow optimizer. So we'll use all of those things together. We tone down inflammation, we optimize blood flow so that stem cells can get to where they need to get to, and we release those stem cells. That's the Sorul product mantra. That's what you all need to be on yesterday. The best price, if you're going to pay for it, is via wellness packs on AutoShip. If you don't want to pay for it, send me an email.
Hello, I don't want to pay for it.
Good. Then what you do is you join us as an IBO member rather than as a retail customer. You yourself find 3 retail customers personally to buy that off you every month. 3 of those, and yours is now free forever, as long as you have 3 customers doing that.
Forever.
So if you don't want to pay for it, that's how you do it. If you do want to pay for it, buy them as a wellness pack on AutoShip, because that's the best price. It's about 18% cheaper, give or take.
Very nice.
The link is also underneath this video in the show notes for that, to go and get that done yesterday.
Very nice. We have 2 super chats.
Lovely. We like super chats.
So 15 Norwegian kroner. Tjena! Thoughts on bone broth? How much to drink for therapeutic effect?
I'll let you handle that.
What cheers?
Well, it's not my thing. I don't do that.
I don't know.
Okay.
How much? I mean,
Good.
what is the therapeutic effect you're after to start with?
Good question.
What bones are you using? Do you want more more collagen? Do you want more gelatin? What do you want? Like, you can make bone broth from different bones to get different compositions of the bone broth. So, I mean, a cup, but also there are some concerns around drinking too much bone broth and histamines or oxalates. So yeah, it's on what your purpose is, I would say. Sorry, don't have a very specific answer for you.
Tack så mycket for the fine Swedish kronor, not Swedish, Norwegian kronor.
Yes.
My bad.
They're much better than Swedish ones.
Are they?
They're worth more.
Good.
Yeah. Right, another super chat.
Yes.
I have no idea. PLN?
PLN, I don't know what that is either. 50 of those.
50 PLNs.
What currency is that? Does anybody know?
I was thinking like Polish something, but probably not. I have no idea. OGTT 11 months ago. Insulin 28.7, 97.6, and 203 after 2 hours. Keto carnivore 13 months. OGTT 1 or 12 days. 2 days ago. I'm not sure which it is.
Yep.
7.1, 79, and 8.7. 79? You mean 7.9 probably.
Well, no, because it was a glucose test, so it's going to shoot up. But what he is, I presume he is saying, is that it's coming down much more rapidly.
This is probably insulin, considering the units.
Yeah.
Universal international units
per
milliliter after 2 hours.
Yeah.
I ate 4 boiled eggs during the OGTT. Why did you do that?
Exactly, because that invalidates the test.
Yes.
But anyway, those are good numbers.
Yes.
That is clearly a win, clearly a vastly better situation in terms of your insulin area under the curve. It's going up to a lower peak than it was, and it's coming down vastly more rapidly, both of which are a good thing.
Yes, the 203 is fucking... Oops.
Then Rick the show.
Why is this not locked?
Because it's me.
203 is freaking scary.
Yes. Yes. Good. Anyway, good numbers. Well done.
Yes.
Excellent. That's a win.
Yeah, but still, why the fuck did you eat eggs?
Exactly.
They're not included.
Mm.
So yeah, that looks really good.
Yes.
Wish everyone had got that. Just remember that if you're testing actual insulin, it's very, very, very inaccurate.
Yeah.
All right, more questions? No, not yet.
No?
We have to go back to where we were.
Do we?
I can't remember where we were. Here
There it
somewhere.
is. Jesus. Long way.
I was keto for a year, then carnivore for a year. However, I still haven't fixed my psoriasis, dermatitis, food craving, strong thirst every time I eat. That's the diabetes. Eating mostly pork. Could that be the reason?
Possibly doesn't help. Possibly doesn't help. I would suggest in that case that you would be a candidate for trying a period of just beef, salt, and water. Do that for about 4 to 6 months, and that should see you resolved on all of those issues, and then add things back into your diet one at once, giving it 2 weeks before you add the next thing. In other words, do an elimination.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you'll be able to identify whatever the problematic influence is in terms of your skin. If that thing is a food-related issue, it might not be. There might be something else in your environment that's setting it off.
And one of the things
So all
that
products.
I've seen with people anyway is that skin issues and autoimmune conditions are like two of the things that takes the longest to see any improvement in.
Yeah. It's raw
Almost
products.
always.
Gets raw products into you. I'm not allowed to say it will help.
But eat them anyway.
Yeah, but do it anyway. Because, well, you'll see.
You shall see. We got more PLNs.
Yay!
Thank you. My question, despite of my experiment eating eggs instead of sugar, it seems that I'm still very insulin resistant. After 2 hours keeps on raining, my cells ignore insulin. Randall cycle? What do you mean?
What do you mean your cells are ignoring insulin? Your insulin is dropping more rapidly, meaning that your body absolutely is responding to it. And insulin resistance is a construct.
So
now I'm lost.
So when you did the second experiment, you actually didn't eat sugar. You ate 4 eggs instead of sugar.
Well, in which case, your numbers are completely worthless.
Yeah, that doesn't say anything.
It doesn't tell us a damn thing about anything. That's not how science is done. Sorry.
That only tells you how you react to eating eggs and how you react to eating sugar in terms of insulin release.
Yeah, no. All right. Okay. We need much more information of a much better quality to help you.
So the second time you did it when you ate 4 eggs, insulin 79.
Well,
doesn't mean that you're insulin resistant necessarily, because you will release some insulin as a response to eating eggs.
Yes.
And I don't know how much insulin someone insulin sensitive actually releases when they eat 4 eggs. I don't have those numbers.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Let's find our way back to where we were again.
Yes.
Here's the question.
Yes.
Greetings all. Your view on blood thinners after having stents on aspirin and ticagrelor?
Uh-huh.
How long do you need to be on them? Looking at several products.
The only person that can advise you on pharmacological interventions is a duly registered medical practitioner, of which I am not one. I am not a fan of the tools they use. I'm not a fan of the pharmacological model under which they work. I'm not a fan of pretty much anything they do professionally, except if I break my arm, I'm going to go to the ER to get it set, and that's probably not by a doctor. If I had a huge accident or something and required emergency surgery, then a doctor would be useful for that. But that's about it for me. I certainly wouldn't have a doctor involved in my cardiac care or cardiac prevention or nutrition or any of those things throughout my lifespan ever. So I can't tell you how long you need to be on those things. That's a decision between you and your medical practitioner. You do need to be aware that raw products, that one anyway, the main product, does contain a bit of K vitamin, which tends to counteract blood thinners. So if you're going to take that, you just need to advise your medical practitioner that you are doing it.
Which one has K?
That one.
Really? I didn't even know that. I should read the labels.
Yes, it's inherently in the substance.
Uh-huh.
But don't ask your medical professional for permission to take Serol. Tell them you are doing it, and it does have an effect on anticoagulants that they need to be aware of. And you can discuss that with them along with whoever else might be a stakeholder. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
That Pan Pam is a Step Brothers reference, lol.
Is it? Oh, well, okay, Peter Pan. Right here, is it? I don't know. Don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, lost.
Having high B6, low vitamin D, and B9 on 1+ year carnivore, I still can't eat much fat without nausea. Any suggestions?
Well, high B6, what does that mean? It says who, according to what? Low vitamin D and B9, again, according to who, based on what? The only bit of that actually makes any sense to me inherently is the statement around what you feel you can and can't do in terms of eating food and getting nausea. There'll be a reason why you're feeling sick.
What are you squeaking?
And it might well be to do with the fact that you might be eating too much fat. So listen to your body for a bit and eat less of it. See if you feel better. It's a bit of N=1 experimentation required because people do tend to feel a bit differently about this or the other thing. Everybody say hello to Fluffy. Professor Fluffy joins us on this lovely Sunday morning. What have you got to say? What? What?
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Dr. Paul Mason must be up there with the ones you mentioned.
Sure. Yep. Good call. Yep. Mostly. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody's as perfect as I am. Not everybody is the science. I'm the only one that can be the science. Trust me. But others can be quite close in many respects. Paul's one of those, yes.
Olive oil, how bad is it and why, aside the oxidation issue?
Well, number one, assuming that what you're actually consuming genuinely is olive oil, because much of the stuff that's labelled as such is nothing of the sort. But let's say it is, just for fun. That would make it 14 to 16% polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are absolutely, completely, utterly 14 to 16%. Completely contraindicated are seed oils. The same PUFA coming from an animal fat is not the same sort of problem. Why not? Deuterium. Look it up. Or listen to Harry. His older videos, mind. Nothing recent. I know I did that joke last week, but it's still funny. Poor old Harry.
I have an interview with Sarah Pugh on deuterium. A lot of deuterium talk there.
You do, on your fine channel?
Yes, on my fine channel. It's one of the last long interviews I've done. Maybe the last, I can't remember.
Did she make wank jokes with you as well?
No.
No, she didn't. Okay.
She did not.
Maybe it's just for the boys.
I don't know. Probably said something funny.
Down to
and looking like it was not funny at all.
Yes, pretending like she didn't just say something very rude and funny.
Is that Sarah?
That's a great stroke.
Yes.
Love you, Sarah.
Morning, Pim and Bart. Any thoughts on adult stem cell production from leg bones of a 57-year-old T5 paraplegic, 33 years since SCI, and heavily osteoporotic from pelvis down? Thanks.
Okay. The only issue there is going to be the osteoporosis, maybe, in terms of the ability of that bone marrow to remain viable in that respect. Look, there's nothing else on that list that could possibly impact the ability of your long bones to produce adult stem cells, even in the case of being paraplegic. There's nothing to suggest that being paraplegic will stop the bones releasing stem cells when they get the right chemical message through the blood. I really don't know about the osteoporosis thing and how that may or may not impact one's stem cell viability and capacity. But I don't think it's an issue. At least I've never heard it to be. Right, what's next?
Why do vegans claim you have been banned from the UK for breaking the law or fled the UK or something?
No. What happened was I was charged with, went through a sham court case for and found guilty of drink driving in 2017 or 18. Must have been 18, I think.
No.
And
17.
Okay, it was 17. And basically I was convicted with drink driving without a scrap of evidence that it had occurred. That's the UK law system for you. They're allowed to find you guilty of something that they, on balance, think you probably were guilty of. I didn't like it, so I didn't pay the fine, and I was leaving the country anyway, so I left and said, fuck you, I'm not having it. I'm not part of that. I'm not returning to this place. I shall not darken the door again, and I don't have to subscribe to or pander to your law system that allows you to convict people without evidence. That's it. It was just a drink driving. Well, not just a drink driving, because that's a serious offence. But at the end of the day, actually, they weren't able to prove that I'd done it. And as such, I should have been acquitted. But that's not how it worked. But no, I'm not banned from the UK. I can walk back into the UK anytime I like. They'll probably want to talk to me about the fine that they levied on me at that time that I didn't pay, in which case I'd pay it. I guess if I really had to go back to the UK, and I said, well, here's your money then, plus interest if you like, whatever. But in the meantime, I have no intent to return to the UK. And basically I can go, well, basically, fuck you sideways. I'm not having that. Where I come from, a person can only be convicted of a crime if there is evidence that the crime was committed by that person. Okay?
Good.
Good. What else have you got?
I'm having trouble gaining weight on carnivore 5 months, even though I eat beyond satiety. Is my body still recovering from my previous poor diet, or I just eat too little? I don't work out.
Depends on what you mean by weight. It depends on where you're starting from and how your health was. I would suggest that your supposition that you're still recovering is probably a good one, because 5 months is really not very long. Give yourself 12 months, 24 months on a carnivore diet before you judge the ability of the thing to sort your health status out ongoingly.
Excellent.
Yes.
You always talk of insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes as just random cycle activation, but how does that explain fasting, high blood sugar? Doesn't that mean that something broke and is not physiological?
No. How do you define high? Who says what is high and what is not high? High is defined by a threshold level imposed according to a decision made by a group of people claiming authority in the field. As it turns out, carnivore folks with no carbohydrate intake to speak of at all tend to run relatively so-called high blood glucose and relatively high so-called A1C. We've already explained the A1C during this session, or part of the explanation being the longevity of one's red blood cells on a carnivore diet. The so-called elevation in blood glucose is that your blood glucose levels out physiologically at a level which is indicated and controlled by your body as to what it is, and it's very stable. When you talk to someone who is a type 2 diabetic, whose blood sugar goes up and down, up and down, up and down all throughout the day, you could draw a line through that. That's an average, and a person who has diabetes tends to have blood glucose average over a certain value, or a resting value over a certain value. That's informed by the peaks as well as the troughs, and it's if someone's going to suffer damage due to elevated blood glucose, it's going to be at those peaks at the top, not at the average level. So there's no evidence whatever that floating along at even 120 in your blood glucose all day, every day, there's no evidence anywhere in the literature that that is a problem or associated with a problem, even.
The literature.
And look in the literature. Ben Bickman covers this particular issue reasonably well, I think, although I don't agree with everything Ben Bickman has to say on every topic, obviously. Because as I said, I'm the science, and nobody's perfect, except me. What are you laughing at? You're here to help, are you?
Nothing.
That was an opportunity for you to press the TED button.
It was.
Yeah.
But it's gone.
You missed it. Oh, well, you have to click on TED again, I suppose, to get it.
I don't know where it is.
If you go there and click that one, there you go. Then you can press the button.
I see.
That one. Yeah. There you go. Now we've had our TED fix.
Right.
Good.
Avocados, how bad are they and why?
Avocados are plants. There is no place really in the human diet for very much or any plant material to speak of.
Mm.
Fiber.
But they're not.
They're not terrible,
bad.
but they've got fiber, which is contraindicated. The fatty acid profile is not ideal. The level of deuterium will not be ideal.
You don't need to eat avocados to get potassium.
Correct. You don't. No. Next question. A quick question.
Dr. Rob Lustig said we need to consume foods that have a low calcium to phosphorus ratio, a 1-to-1 ideally. Thoughts? He had an interview with Dr. Ken Berry and with Jesse Chappers.
I haven't seen it. I don't know what he said or why he said it. But I will say that everybody out there just about has that one thing that they think is the answer to everything. Ask Harry. He'll tell you it's taurine. Ask Rob Lustig. He might say, oh, well, it's all about this ratio here. Talk to someone else, they'll tell you something different again. Ask Jack Cruz, she'll say it's light. Very good, we thought of that at the same time. Ask Sarah Pugh and she'll say the same thing, only comprehensibly. Pretty much.
Yes.
You know.
What do you feed your dog that makes him so stinky? Lol, my cat farted really stinky today too.
I think it's whatever she finds for herself that's the problem.
Yeah, it could be that. Or I maybe a month and a half ago, I ordered the one that just sat on my lap. She is allergic to chicken, and it's really hard to find some small bones for her because she's very tiny. So I ordered some chicken frames and just got some other fucking meat, which included a lot of meat that my dogs have never had. So that could be the reason why she's so stinky, which is possum, goat, fucking goat tribe. It stinks like fuck. Because it was all in a like a bundle pack, so I didn't get to pick everything exactly.
That was some bullshit and awful.
Yeah, well, she liked the possum. She likes the tripe, but the tripe stinks when it goes in, so I wouldn't surprise if it stinks when it comes out. But my money would be on the possum, but she hasn't had that for a while, so I'm not sure. But she always finds some bullshit to eat outside.
Yeah.
She feeds herself, basically.
Yeah.
So that's that.
She is a shit-eating shit-eater.
Yeah, anything she finds that is edible or not.
That's how she gets her B vitamins, maybe.
Any study about cerebral stem cells' effectiveness solving health issues or just about detection of increased stem cells in the blood?
Okay, the evidence such that there is for cereal products talks about does it release stem cells, as you're alluding to there? The answer is yes, it does. And there are other reductionist aspects of this or that type studies, this associated with that associated with this short-term, small-scale stuff. Sure. We do not have a bunch of experimental interventional studies scientifically that say cereal products cause you to be cured from X, Y, or Z. As such, we do not claim that. We say this stuff does exactly what it says it does, and that is it does cause the release of adult stem cells, which we do know absolutely do both fix things up before they become new tissues and also fix things up by becoming new tissues once they're finished fixing things up before becoming new tissues, as described earlier. Links under the go buy it yesterday, trust me. I've been on it 14 years, I think it is, or best part of 15.
But not consistently.
True. There were periods when I wasn't taking it for a while.
Yes. Do you prefer living in Wakatiki? I wonder where that is, compared to Greymouth or Leicester or any other place you've been?
I've lived in many places. Some of the places I've lived in are on your list, and some of them are things that you've clearly made up yourself. Because at least one of those are places I've never lived in my life. My favourite place to be, I think where we currently are, the region that we currently live in is hard to beat. Places to live currently. And That's not on that list where we currently live or anywhere close to it. Clearly, Milton is trying to get ammunition or something. He's clearly a bit of a troll trying to dig around for something.
Mhm.
Why don't you just ask me exactly what you want to know and I might tell you?
Maybe he's a little bit like you, never speak plain fucking language.
Uh,
Do you know if alcohol is high in deuterium?
I don't know.
My guess will be yes. Just guessing. I have no clue.
I have no idea. I don't know what effect yeast have on such things. What's next?
What do you think about milk?
In what regard?
Mm.
Not much. You know, I don't generally wake up in the morning and think to myself, milk, or anything about milk.
I think it's racist.
Yes, milk is racist, apparently, according to some. And also we can't be carnivores because sharp, pointy teeth.
Is light for a carnivore diet more important for optimal physiologic function?
In my mind, diet is the most important factor.
Why don't you do both?
Exactly. But in my mind, if you were going to do one and not the other, I would optimize your diet before light. I'm not saying light is unimportant, but it's not as important as diet, I'm quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How and why Seco theory was accepted as true? I have never seen any study or theory about it.
People are lazy. People are imprecise in the way they communicate, even scientists. Discipline is lacking in the scientific field, often in terms of conclusion making as it relates to evidence provided. And it seems, for some reason, that many in the scientific fraternity, for want of a better term, many of them do not appreciate that a construct may or may not have validity and utility. Seco is a construct. It's an idea. And it's not a very good one, as I've expounded upon at great length already on my channel. I have a whole playlist on it. Go and watch it.
We're going to announce some doings here.
Doings!
31 months, member of the Meat Militia fucking doings.
Salute!
Why can't you see properly in the corner?
Because it never does fit. It never has fit.
Shit house.
It is.
Send Bart your money, says Ted.
Yes, he does.
We also have
Send Bart your money!
Tracy Lord, new member. Thank you. Welcome,
Salute from His Majesty Field Marshal Ted.
And we have a second new member. Yay! Fucking chat is stuck.
Fucking chat.
I can't scroll.
Oh,
This is so
it's
annoying.
the bane of your life, isn't it?
Yeah, it really fucking is.
Yes.
Right, so
Good.
we've been going for a bit.
A bit.
So let's pull through quickly. Our nutrition professor said that studies can inform on risk because humans are mostly genetically identical. How do I tell her that she's a complete idiot?
Well, if it was me, I would do it that way, personally, but that's probably not the best way to win friends and influence people. That is an opinion. That's not a scientific fact. That's not an established anything. That is that professor's opinion. And it's vacuous. It's quite mindless. It's stunningly ill-educated. It's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, genetically identical does not mean that you epigenetically is going to be identical to anyone else. Or the people react differently to different things.
Exactly.
Regardless of their genetic makeup.
Yeah. Risk is a cause and effect statement, necessarily. If you want to claim risk, you must provide experimental interventional evidence in human beings that is properly randomized, properly powered, properly tenured, properly controlled and observed, metabolic walled lock-in stuff. Otherwise, fuck off. Simple.
Next one.
Next.
My father has tracheostenosis. He's currently on cell set for it.
Yeah.
Do you think stem cell therapy would benefit him? He wants to get off the meds, but doesn't know if he can. Thank you.
I don't know anything about Cellcept or its efficacy at all. The only product regarding stem cells that I do know about and its efficacy is the Sorol product, and it's the only one that I promote to people. Do I think stem cell therapy would benefit him? Quite potentially. Quite likely. Who knows? Not at all. Thank
I
you.
mean, stem cell therapy is not going to hurt anyone, but if I'm assuming that you're talking about medical procedure, it's
yes, I
usually
assume that
really
too.
freaking expensive. Although I've heard someone say that it's actually really cheap in Mexico.
Well, there you go.
So why not?
Well, I'll tell you why not. No? Okay.
No. Thank you for more PLNs. Shouldn't insulin in blood ideally always drop after 2 hours in an OGTT, regardless if you have drunk the sugar or eaten eggs?
The rate at which the insulin drops from your blood is determined largely by the state of the intake of carbohydrates and proteins, or the balance of all of that, at that time, under the control of the Randall cycle, which is managing that, according to genes that have survived for a very, very long time. At least 3,800 million years. Probably much, much longer than that, in fact.
But I'm not sure why you're asking this question, because your second example, you said it was your insulin was 7.1, 79, and 8.7. So it has pretty much dropped back to baseline after 2 hours when you ate eggs. So
I'm not sure what the issue is still.
No, so that would indicate that it's working as it should.
But thanks for the money. We like Swedish. Not
Swedish?
Swedish. We like Norwegian krone. Oh,
That's
Jesus.
not even Norwegian, it's PLNs.
All right.
We still don't know
we
what
still don't know what
PLNs
PLNs are. Right. Tell us what your PLNs are.
Who knows?
Who knows, indeed.
Right, I'm just going to pick some random cues here because we're kind of done.
If you want to finish off, I can go through the remaining ones.
There are many.
Well, okay, fine. You're already in overtime.
I know.
You're also very welcome to stay as long as you feel like it.
I haven't read this one, so
Good.
surprise. QQ. I use heavy cream in my coffee and I use a fair amount. Could the 5 gram of lactose that I take in with my coffee cause the Randall cycle to be initiated? Thanks, you guys are awesome.
Incredibly unlikely. It's just not enough.
No,
5 grams.
Not fucking enough.
No.
I think you can safely drink some cream. Looking for cues. That's not, but hello, Professor Fluffy. And then I click that and now the chat doesn't scroll again. If you don't have cues in front of you, you have no chance of getting read right now. Should one recovering from a bout of starvation include carbohydrates temporarily to speed up weight gain? I find it quite difficult to put on weight on strict carnivore.
Case by case, I wouldn't recommend it for the most part. It would have to be a very serious situation for me to even think about that.
Was that it?
Yep. There are other ways we can work around those things. Carry on.
Super chats.
Yes, super chats.
These are real American dollars. We know what those are.
Yay.
What are your thoughts on that, on Darko Velchek and using sea salt to detoxify the blood?
Don't know. Haven't seen it. Haven't watched it. Don't even know who that is. Sorry. Thanks for the money. It's probably rubbish, though.
Good.
Most things are on the interwebs. Trust me. I am the science. Get your science here. Why is everybody always telling me what everybody else is saying? Who cares? They're not the science. I am.
Yes. There are many cues.
Yes, good.
If I stalled in weight loss, Dr. K, is that you?
It must be.
Am I supposed to eat more? I'm usually OMAD, but really can't eat that much. I want to lose another 5 pound suggestions. Yeah. If you only do OMAD forever, then yeah, eat more often, more, and low carb.
Also, if you want to consult personally on issues of that kind, there is a consultancy link underneath the show notes. It's that bit.ly link. Click on that, and then there's a link off to Patreon from there, where you can get one-on-one FaceTime with yours truly to discuss such issues in detail. Not just you, though. Anybody, pretty much.
I think he's trolling this guy that you accused of trolling.
Yeah, that's what I was... sounds like it.
Was that leaked audio of a fellow female professor of yours real?
No, it wasn't. It was an AI-generated voice
I haven't even heard of it.
There was this guy that put together this video claiming to have some leaked audio or some commentary from one of my so-called previous colleagues at the University of Auckland, and it was an obviously AI-generated female New Zealand accent.
Excellent.
Right? Yeah. Which is hilarious because the department I worked in at Auckland University for 3 years, there were no workmates in my team who were from New Zealand. Not one. as colleagues at all. There were 1 or 2 students who were New Zealanders, absolutely, but this was claimed to be a colleague of mine. No. Hilarious it was. Ted thought it was as funny as fuck. People will make up all sorts of shit. Like, I never really even was in academia and, all of this nonsense, which I don't answer or respond to much because actually it serves me. The innuendo and rumor and the Reddit threads that say about how I'm a fraud and all this. Excellent. Keep going, guys. All that does is serve me. It gets people, it gets my name in front of people.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's review some more.
Yeah.
I'm on a water pill. My potassium is low. What do you recommend to lose my potassium as a carnivore? Why would you want to lose more?
Exactly. Why would you want to lose more? What issue would be causing you to retain too much potassium, and how has that been established in the first place? Thanks for the questions, folks, but please do give us enough information to actually respond intelligently if you possibly can.
Let's assume that he wants to increase the potassium.
Mary? Mary is probably a her.
What do you recommend to increase my potassium as a carnivore? Well, that's what I'm reading in the question. I think you put it the wrong way. I would say maybe if you are cooking your meat, always fucking make sure that you mop up the meat juices because that way you are losing potassium. Don't boil your meat because it will be excreted in the boiling water. I did a short on that recently. You go on my Fine channel, look at something about potassium and being carnivore. Anything with carnivore in the title, don't get many views, but it's there. It has like more than 100% retention time, but not many views because YouTube don't show anything with carnivore in the title. It's very recent, so I have a list of foods there that carnivore foods that contain a lot of potassium. Bone broth is one of them. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What do you think of urolithin, a supplementation for mitochondrial health?
Never heard of it at all. Sorry. Next.
I'm 65 and have done exercise and weightlifting. Have read menopausal women need more protein due to lack of estrogen, makes it harder to process and also affects our cortisol levels.
Okay, if you say so.
What is the question?
Yes, there's no question.
What is the cue there?
I've read a lot of things too. Some of them were true.
Oh, fuck. Let's pick that one. I've been on long-term antibiotics, amoxicillin, for over a year now and could be still for another 6 months due to a rare infection from a spider bite. Can you advise effects on long-term antibiotics?
Ooh, that's a tough one, and it's probably a whole hour discussion. Yeah, I feel your pain. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on many people. Some I would.
Mousy!
Oh, there he is. Richard, I thought you'd missed us.
No, he's here now, and tell people why they need to put a Q in front of the fucking question.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
How to gain muscle mass while eating anything with hard workout?
I'm still not sure what the question is there. How to gain muscle mass while eating anything with hard workout?
I don't know.
I don't know what the question is.
Well, we want good questions.
Eat a carnivore diet. Work out hard, but not long. And don't work out more than 3 times a week. Do a whole body split and eat a sensible carnivore diet. That's all you do. Yep.
Cooked versus raw meat. Does it matter?
No.
Or more important, get rid of the vegetables, oils, and other junk?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cooked or uncooked makes no real difference, apparently, in terms of outcomes.
Whatever happened with Joey? Has he come around and apologized?
Of course not.
Of course not.
I mean, who?
People just talking about these people that we don't know who they are. Can one increase stem cell production using grounding and sunlight receiving?
I don't think so. Not that I've seen.
That was the last one.
Excellent. Well done.
Oh, fucking hell, he's playing ball.
He's not playing with his balls.
Thank God.
Right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the new super chat.
hang on.
Jesus, just in time. Holy hell.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
What do you think is the role of mitochondria in determining epigenetics? Stem cells released by Cerule will become new cells following the old epigenetics.
Well, new stem cells that differentiate into new adults, their stem cell lines, will then be subject to the conditions in which those cells have been placed at that time. So epigenetics will still be valid, yes.
That's why nutrition is quite important.
Yes, and one of the most important things in your health status is the health of your mitochondria, and one of the most important things in the health of your mitochondria is the correct fuel. And there are other things like this light bizo, which are quite important.
Fuel and light bizo.
Fuel and light and fuel. That's what you should have for breakfast. No singing. Delicious.
How to join Meat Militia and get a Bart head?
You click join this channel on the front page of my YouTube channel. It's right beside the button that says subscribe. You can join, and I think the cheapest option is about the cost of a cup of coffee or something to be a member. And then you can have my head. You can have head from me. My head.
Yeah, that's what I read. And
Yes.
give Bart a head. I was like, whoa, you don't need to do that if you want to be.
I don't know. Maybe we should up the price.
Maybe.
Cost of a cup of coffee and a blowjob, and you can be in.
Yes. Form a queue outside.
Yes. There, a queue on the screen there. Queue.
Yes.
How to join the meeting. Yes. Right. What's next?
That's it.
Good.
We're not taking more questions now.
Okay, no more
unless
questions.
they are paid.
That's right. And they have to be $100.
Quickly.
Yep. All right. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, Pim, for your valuable time. Thank you, Ted, for showing up and making all the technology work for once. Well, most of it. We're still struggling with the lighting situation.
That's my fault, I believe.
Is it?
Because I wear
you're wearing a blue
blue
shirt
today. So you had to fuck around with the camera.
Yeah. It wasn't working before you came in, to be fair.
All
right. Thank you once again. See you all next week. Sometime soon I'll start making some more videos for my channel. At the moment, I'm having a bit of a break because, frankly, there's only so much energy in the world for such things. In the meantime, go and buy Cerule products. All of them.
Now, bend over.
Yes, mistress. I think you better hit stop before this goes completely to pot. Ciao.